there's not a single day that I don't cry and that it doesn't somehow come up and you not think about it. Yes, you can distract yourself and yes, you can heal it. But I think that it's always going to be there. This was me at the beginning of my grieving stage, and I honestly felt like it was never, ever going to get better. Because when you lose somebody, it really feels like the whole world does not make any sense anymore. Because how could you possibly be happy ever again without this incredibly important person in your life? And the pain that you're going to be feeling, or that you are feeling right now, is going to feel so unbearable and so incredibly strong, as if there was nothing in the world that could possibly make it better. What really got to me, and what I've never felt before in my life, was that complete emptiness. It feels like somebody has sucked every little bit of energy that you possibly had anywhere in your body out of you. And now you're desperately trying to get it back, but you just don't know how, because you're stuck in this, I don't want to think about it, I just want to distract myself, and I want to forget this incredibly pain. But you just know that every time that you wake up and every time that you fall asleep, and to be honest, most times throughout the day, that pain is going to be there. And people like myself right now are going to tell you that it is going to get better. And you're going to think that they're absolutely crazy, that there's no chance in the world that it possibly could get better. And now I'm standing here 5 months after I recorded that video, and I can tell you and promise you that it really does get better. Even though it feels like there's no possible way, no way that you could ever get rid of that emptiness, and that there is ever a person or somebody else who could fill that space of the person that you have lost, because really nobody is ever going to be able to replace them. But what I have noticed since I've been in that really, really low state is that slowly and steady it does get better. What I've mainly noticed is that the crying becomes a lot less frequent. So yes, if there's something that reminds me of my mom, or just a moment where I'll be thinking of her, you still cry, but it's not this constant throughout the day where you really feel like every second that your brain has free space, you constantly going over it and crying again and again and again. And I think that it's totally fine to have this in the beginning, but I can also tell you that in my experience, from what I've gone through over the past 8 months, oh, I just realized today it's actually exactly 8 months. These are the moments, where you then do cry. But I also have to say that in the beginning it was just so much, and then it becomes less and less frequent, and you do start to feel lighter in a way, because this pain in the beginning is like it's completely taking your breath away. You can't breathe, you can't think, you can't focus, you can't move. There's nothing that you want to do. But that becomes better and better the more time passes, and you start to have a more healthy look on this whole situation, because there's time that passed, because you've hopefully done a lot of healing work on it. And this is something that honestly I can recommend you so incredibly much. Start doing healing work. Watch some of my videos, watch videos of other people that have talked about death and grieving and how to go through this process in better ways and handle it in better ways. Because if you don't do any work on it, I can tell you right now that you're going to struggle extremely, because this is such a complex process that we're going through. There's so many emotions involved. There's so much pain involved. There's so much sadness. There's just this incredibly massive spectrum of emotions, and unfortunately a lot of them are incredibly negative that we have to go through. And if you now let your body deal with these emotions completely on its own, it is going to struggle. So I really think that anybody, no matter who you are, has to go through specific things to heal and to overcome this pain, because otherwise, instead of you feeling lighter and lighter, it is going to get worse. And as we have talked about in many videos before now, ignoring the pain is not the option. It is not going to help you. It is just going to store it up and make it come out bigger eventually. Of course, and this is incredibly important to remember, take the time that you need to start with this process, because there is just going to be a certain period where you just want to ignore, and that is okay. But when you feel ready, start doing these little exercises and little tasks throughout the day. No matter how small they are, I promise you they're going to make a difference. So when I recorded the video that I showed a snippet of in the beginning, I truly believed that there was no way it was going to get better. I mean, I was completely convinced of that. And now I'm standing here and telling you it does. And I know that right now you're probably thinking, yes, she's saying this, but there's no way that I'm going to feel better, because you just feel so lost. You feel like the whole world all of a sudden has turned against you. It almost feels like you're drowning. And I know that right now there's nothing that I could say that can take that pain away from you. But what I can tell you and promise you, you are going to return to a somewhat normal life. Obviously, it's never going to be the same than when that person was still in your life, but you can still live a beautiful life. You can still laugh with your friends, you can enjoy things, you can go on holidays, you can do all those things that you did before while feeling incredibly happy. One of the most challenging things that is going to come along with feeling better and feeling happier, not crying as often and not thinking about them as much, is that you're going to start feeling guilty. And this video right here is going to help you with processing these emotions and understanding why you becoming happier and moving forward in life does not mean that you're letting go or forgetting them.